Today, we are diving deep into a literary masterpiece that's really a bit of everything. It's part detective story, part romance, and a total obsession with the past. This is a novel that makes you ask a really big question about history and about what happens when we start chasing its ghosts. And that question, it comes straight from the author herself. A.S. Byatt actually said this single thought is what kicked off the entire novel. Think about it. A scholar dedicates their whole life to a long-dead author, so who really owns whom? It's a question about power, about love, about history itself, and it is right at the heart of the story we're about to explore. So, how does it all begin? Well, our story starts in a place where the past isn't just remembered. It's physically just sitting there, waiting to be found. Okay, so I want you to picture the London Library. It's this incredible place, just thick with history. You can almost feel the ghosts of writers like Carlyle and George Eliot hanging around the shelves. For our scholar, it's less of a workplace and more like a sanctuary. And here's our guy, Roland Michel. He's a young academic, kinda down on his luck, feeling like a bit of a failure, honestly. He's living in a tiny basement flat and just doing thankless research for a senior professor. He's not looking for trouble. He's just trying to get through his work on the great Victorian poet Randolph Henry Ashe. So he requests Ashe's personal copy of some old, dense book on philosophy. So this book arrives, and it's covered in this thick, black Victorian dust, the kind that tells you it has not been opened in a very, very long time. And as Roland cracks it open, something absolutely incredible happens. Two folded letters fall out, and the dust around where they were sitting is so thick it's formed a perfect, clean outline. It's obvious nobody has touched these papers since Ashe himself put them there. So what did he find? This is the exact moment a quiet day of research turns into a thrilling, career-defining, and yeah, a highly illegal secret. You have to imagine Roland's heart must have just stopped, because he instantly recognizes the handwriting. It belongs to Randolph Henry Ashe, the very poet he's dedicated his life to studying. For an academic, this is like finding a lost treasure chest. And this isn't just some simple note, it's a draft. You can see all the crossed out words, the hesitation. It shows a man literally struggling to find the right language, feeling this urgent, almost desperate need to say something deeply personal. See, Roland didn't just find one letter, he found two drafts, and comparing them tells you everything. The first one is so formal, so hesitant. He asks to continue an interesting conversation. But the second one, wow, it's passionate. He talks about a sweet drug of mutual understanding and a connection that feels almost supernatural. These are not the letters you'd expect from a distant, revered poet. They're from a man who is completely captivated. And this question from that second draft just says it all, doesn't it? It's so intimate, so vulnerable, and it completely shatters the public image of Randolph Henry Ashe, a guy who was famous for his calm, stable, 40-year marriage. All of a sudden, there's a secret. And right away, this discovery creates this powerful, magnetic link between two very different men living a century apart. Let's just look at how their worlds start to mirror one another. So in one corner, you've got Roland Michel in 1986. The guy feels like a failure, his relationship is on the rocks, and his big secret is that in a crazy moment of impulse, he has just stolen these priceless letters. And in the other corner, you have R.H. Ashe, this Victorian literary giant with a seemingly perfect life, whose secret is that he wrote those passionate, world-shaking letters in the first place. Two men, one mystery, connecting them right across time. With the letters now illegally stashed in his bag, Roland can't just stop. He has to know who this mysterious woman was. The hunt is officially on. And this is where Roland's academic skills turn into full-on detective tools. He scours the letters for any clues he can find and lands on a name, Crabbe. He knows this has to be Henry Crabbe Robinson, a man who basically knew everyone in Victorian literary London. So he races off to another library, gets his hands on the man's unpublished diary, and starts frantically searching for a breakfast party where Ashe might have been a guest. And then he finds it. The diary entry describes this lively breakfast where Randolph Ashe met, for the very first time, a reclusive poet named Miss Lamott. He's found her. He has a name. The ghost is starting to take shape. Now, here's the crucial part. Roland's act of stealing the letters, of possessing them, sets him on a path where he himself becomes possessed by them. And this brings us right back to that central theme of the whole book. You see, the title possession is brilliant because it works on so many levels. You've got academic possession, scholars fighting to own the true story of a historical figure. Then there's economic possession, owning these incredibly rare manuscripts. Of course, there's romantic possession, that desire for lovers to belong completely to one another. And finally, there's this spiritual kind of possession, the feeling that Roland is being guided, maybe even haunted, by a story that is demanding to be told. Which leaves us right back where we started. As Roland follows this trail, is he the one uncovering the story? Or is the story are the ghosts of Ash and Lamont, the ones that have now taken possession of him? It's a question that reminds us that our connection to the past is never, ever a one-way street.